Cody turns on Robyn, poisoning the kids, $2 million house gone, and TLC pulls the plug. For over a decade, Sister Wives fans watched as Kody Brown built and unraveled his plural family before the world. What began as a spiritual pursuit of unity and love has ended in public heartbreak, fractured relationships, and shattered trust. But even as viewers thought they'd seen it all, recent revelations suggest the worst chapter has only just been written. In a stunning twist that no one could have predicted, Kody Brown has allegedly turned on Robyn Brown, the wife who once stood as his most loyal supporter and his last remaining partner. From manipulating Robyn's children to losing their $2 million dream home and being officially dropped by TLC, the downfall has turned brutal and deeply personal. This is not just the end of a reality TV story. It's the implosion of a relationship that once seemed untouchable. The alleged emotional poisoning, Kody versus Robyn's kids. Fans have long speculated about the dynamics between Kody and Robyn's children, particularly the divide between biological and non-biological kids within the Brown family. Robyn brought 3 children into her marriage with Kody from a previous relationship, and he eventually adopted them. For years, Kody presented himself as their loving father figure. But recent insider reports suggest that bond has soured. According to close family sources, Kody has allegedly begun manipulating the children emotionally, particularly in the wake of his crumbling relationship with Robyn. What started as small criticisms and offhand remarks reportedly escalated into emotional blame games and alienation tactics, subtly pitting the children against their own mother. He's been undermining her parenting, a source claims, suggesting she's the reason the family fell apart, implying she's keeping the kids from him emotionally. It's toxic, and it's tearing the children up inside. Robyn, known for her emotional nature and fierce protectiveness, is said to be devastated. Not only is she mourning the public breakdown of her marriage, but now she's fighting to protect her children's emotional well-being from the man she once believed was her spiritual soulmate. The $2 million dream turns to dust. As the emotional chaos deepens, the financial unraveling has been equally swift and severe. Robyn and Kody's massive $2 million house in Flagstaff, Arizona, was once a symbol of their new beginning, a fresh start away from the mess left behind in Las Vegas. But that sanctuary has now turned into a burden. Sources confirm that the couple is facing serious financial trouble linked to the home. What went wrong? A combination of property taxes, maintenance costs, unpaid debts, and declining income from the show reportedly placed enormous pressure on their finances. With Kody's income spread thin across multiple family responsibilities and his public persona deteriorating, the couple was allegedly forced to list the house quietly or risk foreclosure. They bit off more than they could chew, says a real estate insider familiar with the property. That house was built on borrowed time. Now it's just another symbol of the family's collapse. The sale of the home, whether voluntary or forced, marks more than a financial loss. It's the symbolic end of the last, stable part of Kody and Robyn's life together. The big house was supposed to be their castle. Now it's a reminder that even their strongest foundation could not survive the storm. TLC pulls the plug. The end of Sister Wives. For years, no matter how messy the relationships got, Sister Wives continued. The ratings remained steady thanks to the drama, the heartbreak, and the sheer emotional rawness of the Brown family's unraveling. But even TLC has its limits. Recent reports from inside the network confirm what fans have feared, or for some, hoped. TLC has officially ended its contract with Kody and Robyn. While the network may explore spin-off opportunities with other family members, particularly Janelle and Christine, who have become fan favorites. Kody and Robyn's chapter is closed for good. This decision didn't come lightly. Network executives reportedly grew concerned about the increasing toxicity of the show, particularly regarding the emotional well-being of the children and the deteriorating behavior of Kody on-screen. His erratic mood swings, favoritism, and public rants about loyalty and betrayal stopped being compelling and started raising between reality TV drama and potential emotional harm, a network source said. Kody crossed it. With the cameras off and the checks stopped, Kody and Robyn are now left to face the fallout, without the platform, the income, or the built-in audience that once gave their lifestyle a voice. Robyn's breaking point. For years, Robyn was painted as the architect of the family's downfall, the favorite wife who came last but seemed to take the most. But recent developments are prompting even longtime critics to reevaluate her role. Robyn has stayed silent on much of the latest turmoil, but insiders say she is emotionally unraveling behind the scenes. After years of defending her place in the family, her relationship with Kody, and the importance of keeping their structure together, she is now watching it all fall apart, piece by piece. She feels betrayed, says a close friend. She sacrificed everything to protect Kody's image, and now he's turning on her, and involving the kids. She's in shock. Privately, Robyn is said to be considering legal action to protect her children's interests, especially if the alleged emotional manipulation continues. She's also exploring therapy options for herself and the kids, hoping to rebuild some form of normalcy as they navigate the fallout. Kody, a legacy in ruins. Kody Brown once saw himself as a visionary, a spiritual leader breaking the mold of traditional relationships. But today, that vision is in ashes. His family has dissolved. His public image is marred by pride, emotional instability, and manipulation. And now, his last relationship is burning down around him. Kody's recent behavior suggests a man in crisis. Friends say he has become isolated, paranoid, and increasingly defensive, insisting he's been misunderstood, blaming the media, the network, and even his own children for the fallout. He's lost control of the narrative, one former associate says, and he can't stand that. He may eventually try to return to the public eye, but it won't be through TLC. And without Robyn by his side or the other wives to serve as contrast, there's little left of the sister wives world he built. What's next for Robyn and the kids? Without Kody, without TLC, and without the house that was once their home, Robyn is standing at a painful crossroads. But perhaps in that space of loss, there is also potential for growth. Those close to her say she is slowly beginning to understand the control dynamics that played out over the years. She is no longer defending Kody blindly. Instead, she's starting to rebuild her identity, not as the favorite wife, but as a mother, a woman of faith, and a survivor. Her focus now is simple: healing her children and protecting what's left of their emotional world. For all the heartbreak, Robyn may finally be free to write her own story, away from the cameras, away from Kody, and away from the roles she was forced to play. A cautionary tale, and a new beginning. The Brown family saga is more than just tabloid fodder. It's a real, raw, sometimes tragic exploration of what happens when faith, ego, and dysfunction collide. And as the curtain finally closes on Kody and Robyn's time in the spotlight, fans are left with more than just questions. They're left with lessons. Love without accountability can become control. Spiritual ideals can turn into emotional prisons. And even the strongest-looking houses can crumble when they're built on instability. But there's also hope in the aftermath. The women of sister wives, especially Christine, Janelle, and now possibly Robyn, are stepping into their power, telling their stories, and refusing to be defined by a man who lost his way. As for Kody, his time in the spotlight is over. What remains is a legacy shaped not by unity,
final
but by
fallout.
unraveling. Alleged manipulation of Robyn's kids ends their TV reign. For over a decade, viewers of Sister Wives were glued to the unfolding story of Kody Brown, the head of a plural family whose dream was to live and love according to a higher spiritual calling. But as the seasons dragged on and relationships frayed, that dream slowly gave way to dysfunction, betrayal, and emotional fallout. Now, in a shocking turn of events, that fallout appears to have reached its most heartbreaking stage yet. Kody Brown has allegedly begun manipulating Robyn's children against their mother, a move that has not only fractured the last stable relationship in his life, but also triggered the final blow to his reality TV reign. With insiders confirming that TLC has severed ties with a couple in production on future seasons has ceased, it's clear. This isn't just the end of a show, it's the collapse of a legacy. And at the center of it all, a family imploding from the inside out. The last wife standing, how Robyn became the safe haven. To understand how deep this fallout runs, we have to go back to where it all began. Robyn Brown joined the family in 2010, introduced as Kody's fourth wife in what was meant to be the next chapter of their growing plural union. Unlike the others, Robyn came into the marriage with 3 children from a previous relationship, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. Cody eventually adopted them and for many years appeared to step into the father figure role with pride. But over time, Robyn became more than just a new wife. She became the central wife. Christine, Janelle, and Mary all began expressing concerns about Kody's emotional and physical absence from their lives. The tension between the wives became undeniable. And as the family splintered, viewers began to suspect what the other wives were quietly confirming. Kody had chosen Robyn. The family's once equal structure had become a pyramid. Robyn was at the top, and the rest? They were left to either accept the new order or leave it. One by one, they did. Allegations of manipulation, Kody's control tactics surface. Now, with only Robyn by his side, Kody's control has turned inward, and some say it has become toxic. According to multiple sources close to the family, Kody has allegedly begun emotionally manipulating Robyn's children, particularly as tensions with Robyn herself have increased. He has reportedly been making passive-aggressive remarks, subtly blaming Robyn for the collapse of the family, and suggesting to the kids that she has turned them against him. It's like he's gaslighting the kids, one insider revealed, telling them things like, "Your mom's making you hate me," or "She doesn't want you to know the truth." But these are teens. They see what's happening. What makes this even more painful is the history. Robyn once defended Kody relentlessly, often to her own emotional detriment. She stood by him when others walked away. She believed in the spiritual vision long after it had lost credibility. And now, that loyalty is being used against her. The emotional toll on Robyn: isolation, shock, and silence. Robyn has always been emotional. That's no secret. But this new wave of betrayal seems to have left her in a different kind of pain. Those closest to her say Robyn is devastated and bewildered. She never imagined Kody would take his frustrations out on the children, especially not her children. After all, these were the kids he adopted, loved, and once called his own. And now it appears they're being drawn into the emotional warfare between husband and wife. She feels like she's losing everything at once, said a friend. Her family, her marriage, her image, even the show. It's all falling apart. Privately, Robyn is said to be considering family therapy, both to protect her children and to begin the process of healing. but the damage may already be done. Trust, once broken at that level, is nearly impossible to repair, especially when it involves the delicate hearts of teenagers. TLC's final decision: the show must not go on. For years, Sister Wives thrived on drama. The more emotional the episodes became, the more viewers tuned in. Cody's outbursts, Christine's exit, Miri's spiritual detachment, Janelle's quiet strength. It was messy, raw, and real, and audiences couldn't look away. But there is a difference between drama inside TLC have confirmed that the network is no longer moving forward with future seasons involving Cody and Robyn. Executives reportedly became increasingly uncomfortable with recent developments, particularly the implications of emotional manipulation involving minors. There's a line you don't cross, especially when it comes to children, said a production insider. When that line started to blur, TLC had to walk away. While spin-off opportunities for Christine and Janelle are still reportedly on the table, the Cody and Robyn era is over. The cameras are off. The crew is gone. And the family that once invited millions into their living room is now navigating collapse in silence. Kody Brown, from patriarch to pariah. Cody's downfall has been slow but visible. At one point, he was admired, even envied, for keeping 4 women and over a dozen children relatively unified under a shared belief system. But as viewers saw more of the behind-the-scenes reality, that admiration turned into criticism, then disbelief, then disgust. His transformation from plural husband to isolated, erratic figure has played out in real time. And now, with no wives left in his corner, and the public growing weary of his rants, Cody's legacy has shifted. Once the face of a controversial but compelling family structure, he is now a symbol of what happens when ego replaces empathy and control replaces communication. The fact that he's now allegedly undermining the very children he once fought to raise only solidifies that fall. What's next for Robyn and the kids? In the wake of this emotional storm, Robyn faces a daunting path forward. Her identity was so tied to Cody, as his wife, as the peacekeeper, as the supposed favorite. But now, those titles mean little. What matters most to her is rebuilding trust with her children, especially after being caught in the crossfire of their father's growing resentment. Robyn is reportedly seeking counseling for the family and is said to be deeply focused on protecting the kids from further harm. She's also retreating from public life, avoiding interviews and stepping away from the spotlight she once accepted as part of being a reality TV figure. As for the children, sources say they are confused but resilient. Teenagers in today's world are perceptive, and Robyn's kids are no exception. They've seen the changes in Cody. They felt the emotional distance. And while it's painful, they are beginning to form their own opinions, separate from the stories being spun around them. A family divided, but healing. It's hard to overstate how seismic this final fallout is for the Brown family. The show began as a statement of faith, family, and alternative love. But what it has become is something far more complicated, and in many ways more human. People make mistakes, relationships break, families fall apart. But there is also healing. There is growth, and there is a future beyond dysfunction. Robyn may no longer be Cody's partner or TLC's centerpiece, but she is still a mother. And in that role, she is stepping up. Quietly, fiercely, and with the hope that something good can still rise from the wreckage. Final thoughts: the end of an era. The Brown family has been many things over the years: controversial, inspiring, heartbreaking, chaotic. But now, as Kody Brown's control finally implodes and the last ties to the show are severed, Sister Wives as we knew it is over. This final fallout wasn't just about a failed marriage. It was about trust, integrity, and the limits of loyalty. Cody's alleged manipulation of Robyn's kids may have cost him the last shreds of support he had, and in doing so, ended the journey that once made him famous. The cameras may be off, but the lessons remain.